In the fear of God, I want you to understand who the greatest impediment to righteous revolution, the true change in America is. This is my opinion, but it's a studied opinion, and I think it's borne out in the record of biblical stories that we see. I think that the greatest single impediment to change, to righteous change in this country, it's not the Democratic Party. It's not the Republican Party. It's the American clergy. It's the American clergy. Evangelical, mainline Protestant, Roman Catholic. And the reason that they are this impediment, it's like a shepherd being in bed with the wolf, helping to devour the sheep. Most of this fault, most of this impediment, this wall that the clergy have erected, has to do with two elements. One is what they fail to say and do, the sins of omission. And two is the disemboweling of courage that they effect on young men and women, especially young men and middle-aged men. Let's look at the second one first. If you get a young man who's full of fire, like in the scriptures, you have the story of Jehu, the son of Nimshi, that rideth furiously. God anointed him, literally, anointed him to destroy the house of Ahab and Jezebel. King David was anointed to be king, to take away the kingdom from the house of Saul. And when clergy have a young Jehu or a young David or any number of warriors that you find in the scriptures, so often in America, and by the way, I admit from the beginning this is broad brush and that there are exceptions. So if you are blessed to have an exceptional pastor, an exceptional priest, an exceptional preacher, an exceptional elder, then thank God, praise Jesus, and learn from that person, seek their counsel. But it's an exception. You need to know that. It's an exception. So to broad brush this, when a Jehu shows up and says, God showed me I'm supposed to take out Ahab and Jezebel, the surgeon takes out the knife. It's not a good surgeon. This clergyman starts to cut away the courage, quoting Bible verses. Well, we're supposed to love our neighbor. Blessed are the peacemakers. You know, Jesus said, don't judge. See, someone will come along and say, we've got to stop Hillary. We've got to make marriage between a man and a woman. Islam is a threat to our freedoms. The blood of babies is crying from the ground. And clergy have gone through seminary, many of them have gone through seminary, and they have been taught that this type of disruptive anger is counterproductive, that it won't help them build a big church. They've been taught that they should be trying to make people comfortable. Literally, that's what they're taught. Now, they might not say, make them comfortable. No. But they're taught to not make them uncomfortable, that disruptive people are divisive, and they're taught that divisiveness is a great problem. And so that when it's that young man or that young woman comes up, or somebody who's in their 30s or 40s, 50s, and has this crisis of conscience, most American clergy will pull out their Bible and misuse it and abuse their authority to convince this would-be David, this would-be Jehu, this would-be Gideon, that it's not the will of God for them to fight. That is the sin. Now, if you're watching this, I want you to think right now, if you've ever approached your pastor, your clergyman, with any number of issues, I mean, true life and death issues that we're facing, what's been his response? Did he encourage you to fight? Follow your conscience? Do everything in your can? Make the biggest fuss you can, fight? Or did he say, well, and then start making up excuses? I've got to take this call. I'll be right back. We'll talk more about who the problems are. Yes, it's Randall.